So,
halacha Esav son is Yaakov is not a halacha.
I have no idea.
It's a fact.
I don't know.
Rashi uses
No, halacha. I believe
Rashi
we
wasn't about halacha.
Sounds like it's
I believe we interpret
Yeah.
it wrongly.
So the reason I called you today, I started learning doing Hilchot Spaces today. I missed the first few days. So my continuing problem. So I bought Shloshim Yom Chaydim Echad. We learned.
Yaakov just showed it.
Says the Mishnah Berurah says Pesach. The Mechaber says Pesach because there's so many halachos. So where do we learn it out from? On Pesach week, Moshe Rabbeinu talking about Pesach Sheni. There's 3 halachas about Pesach Sheni. You can eat chametz, and the whole Pesach Sheni takes 3 hours.
right. Right. Very good. Very good. Yeah, you're right. 1 second. Where does it say? It says in halacha, right? Halacha Esav son is Yaakov. That's what's on the table here. Rashi says it, but Rashi doesn't say it himself. It says halacha, doesn't it say?
Halacha Esav son is Yaakov.
He says that as a fact. The Esav son of Yaakov. We interpret it every God hates a Jew.
It's not every guy, it's Esau.
Exactly.
But it's Rashi uses the word halacha.
I don't know. Okay. All right, so we're in Siman Hay. Siman Hay. Sif. We were in the middle of Sif Tezayim. We're talking about what you're allowed to daven in front of improperly dressed women, and not what you're allowed to daven, but how you're allowed to daven. Right? So, where do we leave off? So last week we had the kula of the Chazon Ish, who says that if you're on a bus or public transportation, etc., so as long as you look away, not look away, as long as you can close your eyes or put your hands over your eyes, even though you're directly facing the erva, you would be allowed to. And it seems like he's using as a tziruf that the reason that nowadays would be so allowed is because we're so used to seeing it, right? But he's furthering. The Aruch Shulchan says it only by hair, right? The Chazon Ish is saying it even more than that, which. Yeah, so the shaila is, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? What? It sounds like he's saying, Kitzur Gufa, the Ervas Roishon.
So, sorry, you should erva.
Right.
You're going to tell me the toe of a woman is erva?
Who? Toe?
The small toe.
We're going to get to that when we get to the knees on down. Is a big machlokes. Most poskim hold that you are not allowed to make a bracha if your wife is walking around. People not aware of this. People are not aware of this halacha. If you hold that women are not allowed to be in the street without socks on or without stockings or whatever you want to call it, if you hold that that's the halacha, not like the Mishnah Berurah who says it's totally in the minhag hamakam. Right? Mishnah Berurah says it's totally in minhag hamakam. If the minhag of that place is that women, meaning the face and the hands is for sure totally in minhag hamakam. The face and the hands.
Does minhag hamakam mean the 5 towns, or would it be specifically for Rockaway or Lawrence?
That's a good question. I have no idea. Does it mean? Does it go? Do you break it up by block? Do you break it up? I tell people that depends on the chaver that you hang out with. I made this up. I totally made this up. So if anybody slugs it up, whatever, gesund to hate, I'm not offended. The way I say it, the way I tell people is it depends who the chaver is that you hang out with. If you hang out in 5 towns, in a more modern area of 5 towns, so then they don't cover from the knees on down, right? If you hang out in Farakwe, it depends where. It depends which parts of Farakwe. I think already Farakwe is getting much more religious. Bayswater, I have no idea what the status is of Bayswater. So it's a mix. What about Florida? Florida, I think in all areas, it's not a problem to walk around.
You make a
Again, this is according to the Mishnah Berurah. Mishnah Berurah says it's tali and minhag hamakam, just like the face and the hands is tali and minhag hamakam. So the Mishnah Berurah says it's tali from the knees on down. Almost everybody unequivocally disagrees with the Mishnah Brura. And one of the tainas, I even looked it up today just because I knew it was going to come up. And the one of the tainas on the Mishnah Brura is that he quotes it as a prima gadim. The prima gadim says efsher. Efsher, it's not. And the Mishnah Brura doesn't quote it as efsher. From what I remember, he doesn't quote it as efsher. So, okay, but whatever it is, the Mishnah Brura is the Mishnah Brura. But if you go like the Machmirim, and you're davening in your house, or you're saying Birchas Hamazon in your house, and you have a daughter over Bas Mitzvah who's walking around without socks and shoes on, or without stockings or socks on, then you have to stop benching. For sure, I'm going over Bas Mitzvah to be cover all the
What if
bases.
she's wearing pants?
No, pants would be okay. Pants would be okay.
Pants would be okay.
Yes, pants would be okay. Not, but meaning
Just not something covered. It
bare
has to be
skin
uncovered.
from the knees. Bare skin from the knees on down would be a problem unless you go with the Mishnah Brura. So you could have that sometimes, on a Friday night. What?
Knees up.
Knees down, knees up for sure. You can.
That's right. Knees up is a problem.
Knees up for sure. We're
Knees
talking about
down
knees
for that
down.
is also a problem.
Knees down.
Standing on her head.
I'm saying if in Williamsburg, in Borough Park, in I don't know about Flatbush, Lakewood, Eretz Yisrael, Bnei Brak in Yerushalayim, for sure a woman is not allowed to walk around without her legs covered from the knees on down, either with a skirt, socks, stockings, even a little toe. Yeah, even a little toe. But no, but it comes out that a lot of times Friday night, a girl takes off her socks and her shoes and she's sitting on the couch and somebody's benching near her. If you go with the Machmirim, you have to stop benching. You have to look away. I'm sorry for being such a start off the night with a big chumrah, but that's what comes out unless you samich on the Mishnah Brura. Unless you samich on the Mishnah Brura.
What's the Machaber say?
The Machaber does not say anything. There's very little tznius, by the way. In Hilchas tznius of what the Welt calls mamish, from the shalosh averas, chamuras, elbows, and neckline, and all that, whatever. All that, whatever. Yeah, it's not kimat not in Shulchan Aruch. It's kimat not in Shulchan Aruch.
It's all made up.
I don't. It's not made up. It's not made up. It's not made up. But one thing for sure, it ain't in Naseres Hadibros. That's for sure, right?
But sneeze is a real thing.
Sneeze is a real thing. There's two
just
levels
not
of
brought
sneeze.
down.
There's
to
two
the
levels
level.
of sneeze. There's sneeze me'ikar adin, and then there's sneeze what the Bnei Yisrael will makabel on themselves. Those are the two. Those are the two things. What? Now, yeah, but this is not really the sugi. This sugi right here is just what we're allowed to down in front of. Later on, we'll get into later on could be in a year from now, but later I'm saying when we get into, yeah.
But you do have a concept of Nois Yisrael Chmil Alatzman, and it became halacha.
Correct. Right. Once the Bnei Yisrael makabel on themselves a certain level of tznius, then you can't go against it. Yes, that's 100% true. 100% true. Now, what about the little hairs?
Does any of this apply to if a female is mentioned?
What?
A who?
If a female is mentioned and a male is not sneezed.
Yeah, so we're going to discuss that tonight. That's the next subject. Very good. Very good. You machav. Yeah. So what about the little hairs, right? What about the little hairs? So that really, the little hairs that are hard to cover does not apply. It's the halacha does not apply to that. Right? Yeah. So that's that. So now what about in front of exactly what you were asking, Dovi? So then on page Chof Ches, and my mission was on page Chof Ches, it's halfway through Sif Tezayin. Perek Simin Hey Sif Tezayin. It says Aval Lagabi Isha, I think that's where we left off. I'm sorry, no, the sentence before that. It makes no difference if the woman is one's wife or a different woman. Right? The same erva, the same it's yeah.
I've seen
them
going into the
Right.
mikveh.
Right? So it makes no difference whether it's one's wife or somebody else. Yeah. Now, what about a guy? So there's conflicting shittas, of course, on whether you're allowed to make a bracha in front of a guy's hair that's uncovered. Lamaisa, the Reb Moshe says you can be makel. Because Moshe said you can be makel. That's very negay. You want to make a bracha on an airplane, right? on a train, all that type of things. And there's a goyish woman there sitting there with her hair uncovered. As long as you're wearing a mask, correct? Right? That's the shaila. So he says that Ramosha says, yeah, Ramosha says it's fine. Does not apply. All right?
Why? Because it's not.
Fine.
Oh, so but what if it would be like a case with like when the Kennedys were in and the Goyim wore sheitlach also? Would that be a problem? If the Goyim also wore sheitlach?
I don't know.
What's that to do with the Kennedys? What
That
about
was-
the Kennedys?
That was when.
No, he's saying that
cover
when
their
the
hair.
people covered their hair before, he's saying that the Kennedys are the one that stelled it away, that nobody has to cover, no hats,
She covered her.
She wore a wig.
She
He
wore a
took
wig.
off his hat.
whatever, right?
Yeah, it was the opposite.
Yeah. Okay, so fine. So then the next line is avalagabi isha loichashivi kavay erva. By a woman, it's not considered erva. All right. So now this is the big tumult right here. So the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch is paskening that a woman is allowed to say a bracha in front of another woman who's not properly dressed, right? But the Ramah says that it is machmer, that a woman should not say Dvar Meshach Kedusha in front of an improperly dressed woman, right? Yeah. So therefore, the Ma'aseh it's a machlokes. The Kitzur is mekel. The Ma'aseh the Kitzur is mekel. The Ramah is machmer. The Kitzur Shulchan Aruch is mekel. Unless it's mamish, if she's mamish undressed, that's not allowed. It's only if it's partially undressed. If she's mamish undressed, then a woman cannot say a bracha in front of another
She
woman.
can't make a bracha in front of herself. Yes, she could.
No, she could. Yeah, herself she can.
The question is why. So why they cover themselves with the
No. It's a different. No, not in front of herself. Not in front of herself, completely naked is a different story. But a nursing woman, a woman's nursing, right, and she's not covered. Can she make a bracha? Yeah, or tilim. That's the common one that I get. That's the common shaila I get. Can they say tilim while they're nursing the baby? With all the kavanas and everything, right? So I guess it beats shopping on Amazon while you're nursing the baby in the stomach. That's what I would think.
See, the
Yeah.
one's mother counts the same as any other lady?
I would think so. Well,
Okay,
I would
fine.
think so. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Fine.
Not if his wife.
You're talking about if the baby makes a shahakal on the mother's milk?
No, I'm not going.
You know,
I'm
those guitars.
not the
there a
art
brother they
scroll.
say that about?
It's not the art scroll Tzaddikim series.
Oh,
I'm
no.
talking about an 18-year-old buck in front of his mother.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
not
Yeah,
covering
it's the same. Yeah, that would be the same thing. Yeah.
It's about distraction, right?
No.
Reasoning. we
Part
talk
of it
about-
is erva and
No,
distraction,
right.
both.
If
Erva
it's
and
about
distraction.
distraction, why isn't there a woman,
It's not distraction.
talking about woman on what level you can make a bracha or not from a man?
No, because there's two problems. There's erva, which is you're not allowed to make a bracha in front of erva, just like you're not allowed to make a bracha in front of tsaya,
Right.
right? Excrement and this stuff. And then there's distraction.
Distraction.
Yeah. So
Talking about the distraction part.
No.
yeah, no, it's both. It's both. You have to keep both in. You have to.
A nice muscled man, whatever.
Oh, so okay.
The woman shouldn't be able to.
No, they
make
don't.
a bracha.
They don't roll like that. Women. They don't roll like
What?
that. Women don't roll like that. But that's
The
different
elders-
smooth
the
for
elders
Shulchan. That's for a shoyim shit.
Yeah, all this chevra, I see this chevra going back and forth to get food. I don't think they're distracting to anybody.
Very good. Very good. You know what we have to start doing? Home delivery for the food for the locals. Anyway,
What's the deal? Why you need to make a bracha naked?
no, she herself. We're gonna get to the woman making bracha, and that's next, because that's when we get to Gartel, which is the next sif. But here's the thing: you remind me to say, what happens if you did daven in front of somebody? Let's say you daven in front of an improperly dressed woman. You daven again or not? Is the davening good or no?
Is it called a toyeva?
So the Paiskim say the davening lemaisa is okay. If it's a derabanan dika isser, which most of the time the distraction is a derabanan, so then it's more of a, it's a suffix derabanan. So it's a suffix derabanan. You're not going to go suffix derabanan to make. But a kriya shema though, some want to say kriya shema is a deraisa. That's also not a bracha levatola. So you might as well say over kriya shema. If you said shema in front of a woman that's not dressed, or a man, by the way, it's a man that's not dressed too. If it's an erva, it's an erva. right? Fine. Okay, so b'diavad it would be okay. So fine. Now weiter in Kitzur. Kol zemer meisha. This is a tough one because I don't know exactly what the source is for kol isha erva. Where I mean, what is it? Kol zemer meisha. The kol of a zemer of a woman singing choshev gamke k'may erva. That's considered an erva.
No, well, not an erva. It's kemoy erva.
K'may erva because it's not an actual erva, right? So kol isha. So what age is this? What age is this? So
Isha is not. Isha is.
So the Chazon Ish Kedarko says age 6, 7. The Chazon Ish holds that a girl does not have to dress properly, tzniustik, until the age of 6 or 7. Another cooler from the Chazon Ish here. Others say 3, and he also says b'negeya to touching a girl, like a niece, nephew, sister-in-law, this type of thing. Chazon Ish also says age 6 or 7, where many others say 3, right?
Even what about your own kids? Like I know my father and the mishpacha, like once they turn like 11, 12 years old,
They stopped up.
there's no more hugging.
Daughters or
and kissing.
granddaughters?
Daughters.
Even daughters?
Even daughters.
I know. I think Rav
There's-
Moshe,
there's-
that's a little
there's-
wild. That's a
actually,
chumrah.
no,
That's
no.
that's a little bit of a
A
chumrah.
friend of mine-
That's
My
a daughter.
friend of mine married somebody was a nephew of the Chazon Ish.
Yeah.
This guy never touched his daughters once they were bat mitzvah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I heard granddaughters. Granddaughters is a tumult already in the poskim, but even that. But daughters, okay. You're telling me a chiddush, okay. Whatever it is, that's fine.
Those guys are happy to have COVID.
Well, they're Litvaks already. They're not so lovey-dovey as it is.
You can't smack someone over Zoom.
But so then he brings here that the are makilim up until age 11.
We're changing the lashon of Isha because it's the shop. Isha is a married woman.
No, Isha's a woman. Isha's a woman. No, no.
Well, a 12-year-old woman has to cover her hair.
Yeah, in those days.
Today.
But again,
No.
it used to be that they did.
At 12, they cover their hair.
What do all the Arabs do?
I don't know.
But that's what the
So
whole.
far, you ready to talk about Arabs?
That's what the whole Welt used to do. It. Mishnah brings down some ladies
Yeah.
only let one eye.
It's totally in the minute. That's totally in the minute.
You
Yeah.
see this?
Batson, we should not allow single girls to go with their hair uncovered. That's the truth be told. If you analyze the sugya, we should not allow
Look at
the
this.
single
Their level
girls
of
to go
season
without.
in the,
But, that's why the Chassidim does that. Why the Chassidim keep the girls keep their hair in the braids.
Yes.
You're Shalmis and the
Shalmis,
Chassidim, right? It's
yes.
not. It's like
Yes.
yeah.
They
Anyways.
cover their hair, they push out the tuchus.
Okay, so now there's a few things that come up a lot with the Kol Isha.
Thick hands.
So what about in a choir where you can't tell the exact who's singing who? So some people want to taina that that's mutter, it's a girl's choir or something like that. The Shevet HaLevi brings in, the Shevet HaLevi says that's a no-go on that. What about through
It's live.
this? And this is a
only live,
common
not
one.
on
Guys
tape.
asked about this one. What about if it's on tapes?
So
Right?
it's not live. It's not-
Right? Or even on an 8-track, or it's Lavdafka tapes. So tapes is already 8-track.
What about Zoom?
Right? Or Zoom, there you go. Zoom's on a delay, even maybe.
Or a Disney character.
Yeah. Whatever. Well, that.
Disney character.
If it's a Disney character, you've
That's
got
a good
issues.
question. If it's a digitalized voice, Tata, I don't know.
Very good.
Hey, T.Y., you remember you were Shalayim Shalfahov? Remember that?
Yes.
Jafar.
No, he's talking about, I think, like you have the cartoons. So
Yeah, but it's a
somebody-
live voice.
You don't even know who that person is.
So one second. Now, so is there a heter if you don't know who the person looks like? There is a heter roaming around out there that if you don't know what the woman looks like, then it's okay. I don't know. Right?
Or if two women.
Now, what about listening to women speak? This comes up. So women that have to give public speeches, especially in the schools,
Right.
they want to know whether that's allowed.
What he says, I didn't get it.
Why can't
So-
you hear them speak?
No, so speaking is fine, but sometimes if they speak in a sing song, then it could be a problem.
Well, like in a Gemara.
Yes, if they exactly that. Can you hear a woman give a Gemara shir? Let's say.
So you can't listen to a girl from Bravenders. That's okay.
Okay, whichever affiliate you want to say. But the point is that if a woman, like let's say she gets someone reads poetry and it comes with epis and niggin, is that considered
Singing.
Is that considered
Ramen.
singing? I don't know. right?
I mean, something wrong about that. Something's wrong about why you'd even be in a situation like that.
That's true. That's true. But no, you know what? When my daughters
You
were
lost the
younger,
bet to your wife, Shmuel David.
That's why I don't bet her.
when I was younger, I used to go. I mean, my wife wanted me to go to. I don't know if she wanted me to go. I think as a parent, you felt guilty that you had to go to the kindergarten and pre-1A in the girls' schools because the fathers go, and otherwise the kid's gonna feel abandoned and all that. And I went once or twice. I said, "There's no heter to be here. I don't understand what the heter is for a man to go to these plays with the girls. I'm not. Listen, I know the girls need chizik and all that, but you know what? Got to show them the chizik some other way. Personally, I mean, the women are there. They're
Take them out to Take them out to breakfast.
That's right.
So machine
You're
and
talking about
recipes.
low 4-6.
No, I'm not talking about the girls is a halbitzer. I'm talking about the teachers.
And the mothers.
There's mothers, there's teachers, and the teacher automatically starts helping the kids sing, and then there's a whatever. I don't believe that that's Hashem needs that. Personally, I know I'm coming off on a kanoistic. It's kanois tonight. What should I tell you? But yeah. No, but
What about
there is a big issue. What?
What about a female who speaks from an emotional standpoint, like a hesped or a shloishim?
Right,
Heard
so
that
if
was
it
a
did
problem.
that's a good point. David, that's a good point. You know, the nusach of a hesped, the hesped nusach.
But a woman shouldn't be speaking in public in front of men.
That's a different story that you can answer out. You can't answer that out. Call isha.
No, but it's
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, different.
So why shouldn't they?
Now, what about what's that second? This is Nageya though. This is Nageya. The guys, the women the wives who like to sing Zmiris with the husbands. Believe it or not, there's people like that.
Black people are picky with something.
Yeah.
Joking last week.
But anyways, no, really. If you hold that Kol Be'isha's erva, so how do you go singing Zmiris with your wife? If you're saying Torah, Zmiris is Torah, certainly a lot of them have Hashem's name, and you're saying Hashem's name, and she's singing along with you.
That's why I don't think it's ever.
Okay, there you go. But all right.
So it's a
No,
problem.
but it's not about me. I'm not a look up of course.
Maybe the kasha is a problem when she's a nida.
That no, for sure if she's a nida, not for sure. It says tzarachian when ishtay nida. The Shulchan, the Pislei Tshuva in Hilchos Nida says tzarach ian. If a woman's a nida, if she's allowed to sing, he says tzarach ian. No, it's
erva. It's one of the ervas.
So you brought up a good point. You brought up a good question. What is that?
Lamaisa,
How can she sing it?
he says here Lamaisa. He brings here from the Divrei Yatziv and the Rebbe and Diane Fisher that your wife, daughter, granddaughters, and sisters is okay.
It's not liboy gospel.
Now that's the sisters part is a
What's
chiddush.
the problem?
Kol
You're
be'isha.
talking about singing?
what's the
or
There's
problem?
no iser me'ikar adin singing.
Wow.
What's the problem? Liboy gospel?
No, it's kol be'isha erva. What's the
But
difference?
what's the nakuda?
Because
There's not a
usually no one-
nakuda with the liboy
I don't
gospel.
know. I don't know. Guys have asked me why in the what do you call it, the
I thought
Balchuva program.
That's what I
It's a
remember
common
years ago.
question that they ask. Why
Liboy
is kol
gospel.
be'isha erva? I said I don't
It's
know.
not a woman's voice is not attractive.
That you tell it to the guys that grow up on listening to these voices, and they're gonna say no. They're gonna tell you no. They're gonna say absolutely not. The guys that I've spoken to about it, they think I'm nuts, but I think it is. But they say, yeah, that's because you grew up without listening to it. But us that you are used to it,
Well,
doesn't.
tell them they don't know what they're talking about from me, okay? They don't know what
Okay,
they're talking
I'll tell them there's a man with a big white beard.
That's gonna mean a lot to them. Exactly. It's gonna mean a
No,
lot
tell
to
them.
them. From
He
ours.
is.
So then tell them to listen to Grace Slick, okay? Or Janice. What are they talking about, these dopes?
Listen, I agree with you, but I couldn't tell it to them. But maybe we'll have you come as a guest speaker. You'll get.
It's not recommended to call them dopes.
It's
Well,
out,
anyway.
it's out of love. It's out of love.
There you go.
Why wouldn't the Chazon Ish
Take off
apply
the
here
kid
then?
gloves, huh?
Same concept, no?
What are you saying, Dave?
Why wouldn't the Chazon Ish apply here? Wouldn't it be the same concept?
Because you're used to it.
Yeah.
That's the line, where to draw that line where you're used to
But
it.
that's
is
exactly what those guys are telling you, that it doesn't,
Yeah, but you're
that
saying you
doesn't-
can't, and if you're used to watching pornography, that means you're allowed to mutter.
Hey, if you
no,
bring up
that's not what the Chazon Ish is saying, though. That's not his.
Well, he is saying that somewhere, somehow, but you just got to draw the line. Aruch Shulchan saying it too, that we're so used to seeing women's hair uncovered that it doesn't mean anything to us, right?
One of the references is that you know you've got it if it makes you feel good. Dennis Joplin, so makes sense. Good thing you mentioned it.
Okay, Avi, there you go. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but that's now, okay, that's the sugya. So the big chiddush is that he holds that a sister, you could hear her singing. Okay, it's Nagayan, man. It's Nagayan in my mother's house. Sometimes the girls are singing. My mother Zicher sings. That's Miris, I can tell you that. So you asked about mothers-in-law. You know, sometimes my brothers-in-law look at me and they give me this look, and I'm like, I don't know. I just shake my head. We go on our merry way, and yeah. Let's go back to the Kitzur. Now this is very negative because a lot of people have this. They go, they come from more modern homes, and the girls are singing, especially negayah to Pesach. Pesach is a big issue, right? The girls want to sing.
Well, they want to sing.
Whatever, Chad Gadjias and all, especially what all the big the Pesach Nigunim. Let's say you're hearing women sing, and you can't make a macha. Oh, no, that right? So you can't make a macha. What are you going to do? You should not be mavati yourself in kriya shema, tefillah, and Torah. Elias Amitz. This is a little tough to do, but this is what he says. You have to strengthen yourself to have strong kavana to the kedusha that you're busy with, and then you don't put your heart onto them. So it says, don't leave. It's a tough thing to do, but don't get up from the seder. And if it's your avodah to sing, which halal by the seder, it's a zach. You're supposed to sing halal, right? So don't just concentrate very strongly on the halal and block them out, right? So we see that kol b'isha erva is more meko, because if there's a woman sitting there prost, it doesn't say block her out. It says you have to turn around, right? But for kol, it seems like kol isha is less of an erva than actual erva. That's for sure.
It's a two-step thing.
Yeah, right. Okay, now we discuss gartel. Yeah, Yud Zayin.
Oh.
Okay, ready for gartel? Here we go. In liboy royes erva shaloi. Let's say your heart sees your erva. Right, now that doesn't mean you're doing sit-ups while you're saying Kriya Shema when you're undressed, right, or anything like that.
Let's say every big belly.
Right, so that should be a hefsek, right?
Right.
Yeah. So im libay royes erva shaloi means that there's no separation between the heart and the erva. Even if the erva is covered. Let's say you're wearing a towel, right? You just got out of the shower, out of the mikveh, and you just have a towel wrapped around on the bottom, from your waist down, let's say, or even a robe without a belt. So again, it doesn't mean that your heart sees the erva, even if the erva is covered, and even if the heart is covered.
So what does it mean?
You're in the same
There's no separation.
You're in the same rishus, so to speak.
Right. So then you don't have anything. Let's see the next line. You have to be wearing pants. It's actually last week's parsha with the kohen's clothing, right? Right. You have to be wearing pants. That are literally means they're stuck to the body.
Nice and tight.
What are you saying?
Nice and tight.
Nice and tight. There you go. Right. Oisha yezer, that's fine. Oisha yezer be'ezer, or take a belt and wrap it around you. Or let's say you don't have these options, right? This could happen to somebody. The hospital gowns is the big thing that this happens to, right? Then what you do is you put your arms like this on the shirt, like you wrap your hands like this. Right? And that will make the hefsek between the heart and the erva. The isha ain't a tzrichel, but a woman doesn't have this issue because her heart, where the oyster makam is on a woman, that doesn't see, that's more hidden. So mamela, right? So therefore, it's not considered, for a woman doesn't have this issue, but she'll have a different issue, which we'll get to. But that's what the okay. So this it doesn't say anything about a gartel. It's just you have to have pants that are tight against your body in order to separate your heart from your from the Arab.
What is the point of gartel?
What?
Stam a gartel, that's where gartel is.
So a gartel, where gartel comes from is, it seems that it comes from back then, before they davened, before they did anything chashuv back then, even goyim put like a large belt around them. I don't know, something that when you got dressed up or whatever.
You're doing a void of something there.
Right.
It's a sign you're going to do something. You're going to daven. That's what it is.
These guys wear the whole day.
The Arabs.
That those that take it over for daven.
The Arabs have it.
Put it back on.
Yeah, so that's what that, but that's a different story. We'll get to that when we do Hilchos Tefillah. This is more about what are you not allowed to say, Baruch Shabbat Kedusha, right? So again, this is only when it's from one's own aver in front of another man's aver. That's for sure not allowed, right? Al's erva. Now, what happens if you're in the pool?
We're in the bathing suit, what do you mean?
No, but let's say you don't have a bathing suit. Let's say you want to swim in skinny.
And you what? And you want to say a bracha?
And you want to say a bracha, yeah, you want to take a drink. I hope it's not Asher Yotzar if you're in a pool.
That by yeah.
Right? I hope it's not Asher Yotzar. Although my brother claims that a guy once came over in the pool and says, okay, swims to the side and says, I need my yarmulke. I said, what do you need yarmulke for? I need to say Asher Yotzar. Okay, that's it. Okay, from a guy once.
Somebody would not be too embarrassed to say that. Give him a lot of credit.
No, you throw him out. You throw him out of the pool.
Yeah, but whatever.
Because that's a joke.
You should throw a hairdryer in the pool.
Yeah, but anyways, no, but let's say, Taka, you want to make a bracha in the pool, you want to take a drink, no? Yeah?
Or at the beach.
So if it's it depends what type of water is in the pool, right? If it's clear water, so what you do is you put your top half of your body out of the pool. Again, if you're wearing a bathing suit, that's no problem, right? Assuming everybody else around the pool area is also wearing bathing suits, right? But if not, so then you put yourself to your waist.
They can't just be wearing bathing suits. The people around it have to be dressed seriously. I hope they're not just wearing bathing suits.
What do you mean, in the pool?
I'm just saying outside the pool also.
No, it's a muckum.
No, but it's in the pool area.
We're talking Florida where people don't care about these rules.
Go around Magula.
So then it's not so negaya because we wear bathing suits, but what you would do is you put your upper half of your body out of the water so that the water sort of covers it, right? And if you're inside the water, so then what you do is, again, you take your arms and you put it around you, which is what the women do when they go to mikvah, right?
Now, why do they have to do that?
That's what I asked before.
Why do that? So we're gonna get to that. But dirty water, if the water is dirty, then you don't have to, right? Yeah, because that's considered, how's your heart seeing your aver? Even though there's no gartel there, but in the water, for some reason, it seems like we're more makel, right?
So ocean water is fine then. Ocean water is dirty, right?
The what?
Ocean water is not clear.
If the water is not clear, correct. So that's right. Yeah. So then another thing is, let's say you're wearing nothing on the bottom, but you have a very tight shirt on the top. So then the Pais can say that that's okay also. He brings here that would also be okay to make a separation.
As long as it's not Magula.
Yeah.
As long as it's not open, it's covered a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, but there's another thing that you can't just cover. Your point is you can't just cover yourself with a sheet. That's not enough. You got to hold it down tight.
A sheet with a belt.
A sheet with a belt, or with your arm, Right? Isn't that the joke they say about the Chassidim wear a gartel to separate the erva from the heart, and the Chassidim say that the Litvish wear a tie to separate the heart from the brain, right? So and take whatever inference you want from the Chassidim on that one, right? Yeah. Now, what about women? So why are women so makbid when they go to mikvah? So there's two mahalchim that women do when they go to mikvah. Either they kick up, because usually you hope that the mikvah is clear. Right, you hope, yeah.
If it's not.
So there's two mahalchim that the women do. Either they kick up the water so that it makes the water unclear.
Kick up.
Meaning whatever they mess around with the water, so it makes like cloudy. It makes it cloudy, bubbles, whatever it is. That's one. Or they put their arms around them. Now the reason for that is because there are those that are chaylik on this Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. According to the Kitzur, They don't need this, right? Right?
Well,
So-
to the Mishnah, they don't need it.
Yeah, but Lamaisa, there are those that are machmer.
So where did those sheets come from?
What?
Where did
I
those
don't know.
sheets come
I don't know. The Mishnah Berurah, I think it's out covered for the Torah, for whatever the brachas that they're going to be said.
And the Mishnah was talking about the other.
Yeah. Now, right. So now, once we're on that subject, so can women make brachas without covering there? Can a woman herself make a bracha? So from what we learned, me'ikar adin, what's the problem?
Yeah, it's not a good, it's a
What? No, I'm talking about her hair. It's her hair. Hair uncovered. Can a woman make a bracha with her hair uncovered? No, so some mikvahs have a shmata and they give the women to put, or they offer it to put a shmata over their head. Right?
No shamat.
Yeah, sure. So the frumah place, I think, do that. Out herself. So the rare answer is because the same way a man is not supposed to make a bracha without his head, with his head uncovered. So a woman has the same din. That's where that comes from. It's no.
Not
basically
because
they're
of
equating, not because of erva, not because of erva.
So every girl should.
So that the question is, so single girls, so the kind of
Doily.
single girls who are not used to having their head covered, okay, so they don't need it. But once a woman is married, right? So then mamela, her head is used to being covered. So there are those that are machmer to say and it seems like it's a pretty strong shita too. It's not like I don't know, a fly by night. It's not like a fly by night shita. It's I think it is Mishnah Berurah. It says it's better for their hair to be covered. That's also negated in the middle of the night. They want to take a drink. Should they cover their head? Should they not?
Is that why by the season they put like when they light candles? Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's why it's only by candles. They put on a white like gartel or some kind of thing over their head
The women?
before they light
Tichel,
candles.
not a gartel.
No, it's not a tichel.
That's what
It's
they
a
stop
white,
at for Friday night. A lot of Chassidish women wear white.
Besides the-
No? Isn't that what
Yeah, but it was someone Lando Lava Yishmael, another covering.
It's not a tichel. It's like a band.
Yeah, that's a different issue. How do you ever make a bracha in a mikvah? That's a big problem for the. So what they say is that a mikvah is not a beis hamerchatz. It's not meant for bathing. It's meant just to dipping and getting out. Correct. Right.
Here you're coming in clean.
If it's cold, But it would be if you actually see them undressed. It would be a problem. But Lamaisa, it's usually one at a time. So Mamela, it's not a problem. So again, the reason why a mikvah is no issur.
Talks about the difference between inside and
Right.
Right. So the poskim, it's interesting. The poskim sometimes discuss because when a woman goes to the mikvah on Yom Tif, so what some do is before they dunk, because they haven't done a preparation. Let's say they're going second day Yom, so they haven't gone to the mikvah. They showered 2 days before, so they'll like scrub their body a little bit. If that's the case, you're making it into a beis hamerchatz. So how do you go make a bracha in there? So that's a tumult in the poskim, whether that's the right thing to do, not the right thing to do. Okay, I guess we'll stop here. Fine. All right, I'll go to Aruch. Yeah. Okay, Zag.
Sure, co-op.
Wait a minute.
Thank you.